Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the North Shore 9 podcast presented by FanDuel. This is the NS9 live show. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Jim Rosati. We got Tyler Sweeney. Fellas, what it do?
I'm glad Jim can make it tonight without being thrown out.
Yet.
Yeah, haven't been thrown out yet. Yeah. I've started the show. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. I'll say this, my Wi-Fi is better tonight than it's been the past couple. Yeah.
Very fair.
Why don't you tell
for those for can I start off the show with I'm just going to start off the show with this. For those who are unaware. Yesterday, I'm in Miami at the Marlins game, Pirates Marlins. And, I leave the press box in the top of the ninth to go get set up for the post-game show. The previous night, I had done the show from like the second level of the ballpark, kind of like the club level where, just like the second deck there. And like the entire time, people were just like, getting in my way. They were like cleaning stuff up around me. They were like, are you going to be done soon? Are you going to be done soon? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be done soon. Like, just let me finish this. And it's just like stadium workers. Right. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go to that same spot. I'm just going to make it easier on everybody. I'm going to go up to the upper level where there's no fans. Like there was 400 people at the game. Right. I'm going to go up to the upper level
where you're at.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the upper level. I won't be bothering anybody. No one will be bothering me. It'll be easy, right? The way they have the ballpark set up there is like you've got to, from the press box, you got to take the elevator everywhere you go. So you go up or down, and the elevator, like there's someone operating the elevator. There's a security guard operating the elevator, and so I get on the elevator. It's top of the ninth inning. I leave a little early so I can get set up. And, security guard goes, where would you like to go? I was like, you know what? Let me go up to the Vista level. He's like, sounds good. Like security guard escorted me in an elevator to the top floor. I get off and he's like, enjoy. I was like, sounds good. I will. Right. Get everything set up. It's going I'm like, this is going to be perfect. Like no one's going to be here. No one's going to be bothering me. And I'm thinking the Wi-Fi might not suck as bad either because I'm like directly above the press box. Well, yeah, like a minute into the post-game show, someone comes up and is like, you're not allowed to be up here. I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I'd like flash my credential, which everywhere we've ever been, the credential gets you anywhere you want. Like you can basically go anywhere you want.
It's the point of the credential.
It's the point of the credential.
What is the point of the credential if you can't go where you want to be?
I can go on the field. I can go in the clubhouse. I can do all this stuff, right? And I'm like, surely I can be standing in the stands. Like it never crossed my mind that this was a spot that I wasn't allowed to be. He goes, yeah. You're gonna have to come with me. Like we got to leave. And I was like, okay, fine. So I'm like, let me just go. I'll just finish the show from the press level. I'll just find like a corner in a room somewhere. He's like, no, well, first my boss wants to see you. So then we got to go. I'm like, fine, whatever. Let me talk to this guy. And he goes, so yeah, you're not allowed on the set up on the top floor. I was like, I didn't know. I was like, someone actually like escorted me to the floor. I had no idea this was a place I wasn't supposed to be. I was like, I apologize. My bad. I'll go back to the press level. He's like, no, you're going to have to leave right now. I'm like, excuse me? I was like, what do you, like, you're joking, right? Like, he's like, no, you're going to have to leave. He's like, you can come back tomorrow, but you're going to have to leave right now. So I got kicked out of Lone Depot Park for standing in the stands. You guys,
this is supposed to be a Mr. Beast video. How I got kicked out of Lone Depot Park.
Like, unbelievable. I was just like, this is absurd. The guy who originally got me, super cool guy, and but he was a nice guy. His boss, though, screw that guy. Also, never going back to that ballpark. That place sucked. Just a dump. Like stand up for the national anthem. I'm like, where's the flagpole? Where are the flags? They don't have a flagpole there. They just have like 3x5 flags like taped to a wall in the outfield somewhere. It's a garbage ballpark, and I hope that team gets contracted within the next 5 years. I hate it there. Never going back.
So I think I will give approval to transfer my hate of Cleveland because we were treated very well in Cleveland. There were good people all around.
Cleveland was outstanding. Like every
Yeah.
and like I said,
Yeah.
everyone there at the ballpark for the most part was great, very hospitable. But yeah, like what are we talking about here? I was literally in the stands. Like
We can transfer my Cleveland hate to Miami for a few weeks, but the Cleveland hate has to come back. But for now, I give approval to hate Miami.
yeah, screw Lone Depot Park, screw the Marlins.
I like this.
I hope
context,
the
Steel City.
Marlins. I hope the Marlins go on some like run to like give the 4 or 5 fans that they have just a little bit of hope, and then they end up getting eliminated in game 162.
Steel City says even Zach Hampel didn't get kicked out of that game, but Jim did.
I mean, it was the most insane experience of my life. I mean, like I said, everybody was like nice about it, but it was like he was just like, no, you're gonna have to go now. He's like, you can come back tomorrow, but you're gonna have to leave right now.
back tomorrow.
I was like, I'm not coming back tomorrow.
He's like, this isn't a permit. You're not banned. You just can't come back tonight.
No, it was just like you're gonna have to leave now.
Yeah, you're almost 0 for 2 because that first game was kind of rough too, as you mentioned. But
Yeah.
I mean, I anticipated you coming back the second time when I saw you just vanish. You were literally the meme, right? You put the deuces up, and you were just gone because your Wi-Fi was so bad. You didn't even see yourself walk out. You just disappeared. In one frame, you're there. The next frame, you were gone. And so again, like I anticipated you coming back at some point, and you just left Neil to dry. Shame, Jim. Shame. Kudos to Neil last night, by the way. Good job, buddy.
Shout out, Neil.
Yeah. Carrying the load, as always. Thanks to Jim.
Yeah.
Glad you can make it back for NS9 Live for first time in a
Shout
while.
out, Neil. But yeah, there we go. So I just needed to start the show with that. I was already in a bad mood too. Like the Pirates had just gotten their brains bashed in. Like it was rough night. Rough night.
It could have been the night before when you were not complaining, but pointing out how few Marlins fans exist and how many show up to games. They might have listened to the podcast and been like, that guy cannot be here again.
I don't know. But yeah, I had to get that off my chest there. Never going back.
Seen this movie before.
Honestly, it was so much better without him last night. I just figured let's carry on tradition. No Jim tonight either. Let's kick him out of here. Jim, you can't come back till tomorrow. Welcome back, buddy.
I wish.
Anyways.
I would love to not have to do the show tonight, actually.
Well, yeah, I feel like some people would love for us not to do the show either. But it must be done. Last week, we questioned, is it over? And of course, without Jim, Tyler and I by ourselves were on and we discussed it. And we decided that it's not over, but it's trending that way. And they need to certainly come back and start fighting off some teams, get some dubs here. And they had the Mets and they had the Marlins. 2 teams that you could find themselves, going 4 out of 6 in. And they didn't. They went 2 out of 6. This team is 5.5 games out. There's 3 teams they're better than in the entire National League. 7 in the entire sport. And here we stand with a 4% playoff chance. Folks, is it over?
Sure.
As I said last night before I disappeared into thin air, yeah, it's over. Like this team is cooked. They have lost They have lost the privilege of anyone taking them seriously at this point. It's up to them if they want to at least eke back into that conversation. But as of right now, this team is not in the playoff hunt. Like if the National League, like if you were looking at a national broadcast and they're posting the NL wildcard standings, the Pirates shouldn't even be on the graphic.
Yeah, this is plain and simple a bad team right now. They're a bad baseball team. At the best, they're mediocre right now, and that's not a playoff team. It's over. Like, this season's done. It sucks, but I don't know. You can't even build on this because it's ended so poorly so far. And I know it's not the ending, but it's done. Stick a fork in them. Whole thing dead.
There they are. We found them way down here in the standings. Yeah. The Reds are above them, sellers. The Nationals are above them, sellers. The Cardinals are above them, sellers. The Marlins are above them. Stood pattish, bought and sold. Yep. That's where they're at. That's where they're at.
Yeah, and it's disappointing because I wasn't expecting. If I was thinking, like, I thought this team was borderline playoff team. Like if they were going to get in, it was going to be that 6 seed. I at least thought they would keep us really, really engaged through the end of the year. But it's now on August 13th, and yeah, like I'm not taking these guys seriously at all. They're 5 games below 500. The Reds are above them in the standings. The Nationals are above them in the standings. The Cardinals, who started their rebuild 8 months ago or so, are ahead of them in the standings. Like we're talking about teams that aren't even really trying to win are currently ahead of this team. And the Pirates did a lot. The Pirates did a lot this offseason, and they put themselves in a better position than where they were previously. But clearly it wasn't enough. Clearly they didn't end up having the depth, is what it came down to. Like they got the injury bug hit them. Like it hits everybody, right?
Right.
And it hit them, and they were able to stay afloat for a while, but it eventually just became too much to overcome. The starting pitching broke down. The hitters stopped hitting. The bullpen was bad all year. Now the bullpen's back and looking good, but the other two things have fallen behind. They haven't been able to have a stretch of baseball where just like everything's been working. It's always been one of 3 units or 2 of 3 units, and the one unit that wasn't good was really bad. It's like they haven't been able to put it all together at any point in time this season. And it's disappointing. That's for sure.
So when I called this team a bunch of losers a couple years ago, I know we like to play that clip.
What clip?
Loser. You're all a bunch of losers.
But in all reality, that is a giant problem with this organization. There is a stench with this organization that doesn't know how to win. And they don't bring in the right people to get them out of that funk. They bring in just, the Don Kelly of the world, who Don Kelly might be a good major league manager. He could figure it out somewhere. I wouldn't doubt that, but they need somebody who knows how to win baseball games and just drag a team along. And they need people and players that know how to do that. This organization has the stench that like your Cincinnati Bengals have, that the Cleveland Browns have. They haven't been terrible rosters for all those years in the NFL, but they're just losing organizations that have no idea how to win and can't get out of that rut. The Pirates are in that same situation, and they're going to continue to be in that situation until they hire somebody who is just special enough to dig them out of it. I don't think they have those people in place right now. I thought maybe Paul Skeens could be that guy to kind of drag him along, and then if you get a few pieces around him, that could do it. Honestly, I think that this entire situation has drugged Paul Skeens down with it, and I don't think Paul Skeens has helped the fact, because, I mean, we saw the picture of him on the beach. He doesn't look that in shape. But they just don't have that person or those people to get them to a point where they are a just quality baseball team. They're not. And they won't be until they find whoever that is. They're not here right now.
I think there's a lot of truth in that. I do. And that's just what's unfortunate. I think this is a talented team. I mean, they had the offseason. We gave plenty of kudos to what they've done. Now, were there still concerns? Absolutely. Ironically enough, the concerns weren't really where they're at right now, like what the actual concerns are. I mean, I guess depth in totality is part of the concern here. But, I mean, we thought the pitching was going to be good. Really, the biggest concern was the hitting enough? Were the guys going to rebound that needed to rebound, right? We said from the get-go, they can add all the free agents. They can make all the trades they want. But the guys that are here that need to step up, or else that's not going to matter. And on the hitting side, that happened. I mean, Brian Reynolds has stepped up in a big way. Nick Gonzalez offensively has stepped up in a big way. Cruz, when he was healthy, has stepped up in a big way. Connor Griffin coming up here had his initial struggles as any rookie, and he started performing before the injury, right? And injuries, of course, happen as well, but they happen to every team. I mean, they happen to every team. This organization actually has been very lucky injury-wise over the past few years, and we've stated that as well. But you don't earn a paycheck by claiming to be a talented team. You don't earn a paycheck by saying you can build a farm system when you're a general manager, and front office members. You earn your paycheck by results. I mean, how many times did I state this? It's sad because we're going back to last year and the year before. This is a results-oriented business. It is a results-oriented business, not a whataboutism-oriented business, right? It's a results-oriented business. 76 wins, 71 wins, and right now they're pacing for 2 more wins than they did in 2023 at 76. They're basically pacing at 78. That's just not good enough. That is just simply not good enough. And that's just the problem. You can give all the what ifs and what on this year, but this was a big year. And as it stands right now, they're maybe not even sniffing 500, let alone a playoff spot.
Jim's on mute.
He kicked himself off. I love it.
I mean, they're not sniffing 500 right now, right? Like, they'd have to go on a winning streak that we haven't seen this team go on yet in order to do that. I think they've been on, I don't think they've done a 5-game winning streak this year. I think 4 is where they're maxed out. If they've done 5, it may have been like 1. They may have had 1 5-game winning streak this year. But
actually very early on.
Yeah.
March 31st to April 5th,
early.
they had a 5-game.
So they're going to have to do that just to get back to 500. And even then, if you're 500, you're still not really even in the conversation all that much. Like the Marlins, the Cardinals, the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, the Padres are all well above 500. So like they've got to do something special to even get back into the conversation where we can take this team even a little bit seriously right now. But it's it sucks. I want to give a shout out to Silas here. He says, can we all agree that it really ended in the blown Cincinnati game when O'Hearn went down? I knew we weren't out of it then, but that's the day that the music died. And Denard, I think you and I were on that post-game show. That was the game where like Nick Gonzalez threw the ball to the wrong base. Lau missed it. That allowed the Reds to score the game-winning run in the 8th inning. O'Hearn comes up to bat in the 9th and gets injured, and like it looked bad. You knew it was probably going to be bad. And yeah, like that was certainly the moment where it was like, damn, because that was a series that they needed to win. If they could have won that game, that would have been a big win for them. They lost that game. They go on to lose 3 of 4 against the Reds. They lose O'Hearn for the year. Like that was a pretty pivotal moment in this stretch of games.
Yeah. Ty.
Starts at the top, man. Again. It starts with Bob. Bob allows the culture, and the culture is losing. Until he figures out a way to put the right people in place to get to a point where the culture's different around here, it's going to continue to be the same. Again, it's 33 years of me being on Earth and 4 winning seasons. That is pathetic and unacceptable. That shouldn't be a real thing. That shouldn't be possible. You should be able to luck your way into, 7, 8 winning seasons within 33 years. Nope. That just shows how just awful this organization is.
I want to go back to like you mentioned like the losers, right? Just like how these guys are a bunch of losers. And if there was one thing that I did like Brandon Lowe has won before, right? Like there are players that they brought in who have won before. Marcelo Zuna's won before. So they brought in some guys who have done that. But largely, you're still talking about a pretty big core of players that really haven't done it at this level. And I want to rewind to yesterday, right? I feel like this is a good segue to the Brandon Lowe quote that Jason Mackey got from him after yesterday's game, and asked about kind of what this looks like from a player's perspective. And Brandon Lowe goes, "I don't think there's lack of effort or lack of fight." He says that he thinks that the Arizona series, which we kind of talked about that series being like the series of the year. There was a huge series. It had a lot of implications. He said that Arizona series, everyone kind of started putting too much pressure game to game, thinking that if we go out and win 4 straight or 5 straight, that's going to secure a wild card spot. Instead of us going and playing like we did in April or June or whatnot, we somehow let the idea creep in that these games matter more than the previous ones did, and so on and so forth. But he goes into like, there's no additional stress to them. There's no added thing to it because we can go win 10 in a row. And so could the teams on a wild card spot. But I think the thing I took from that is, as players, you don't want to think that a single game, like you do want to be grounded, right? But the reality of the situation is those games did matter more than the previous games you had played. When the games matter more, there is more pressure. There is more stress. And it's a matter of how do you react to the added pressure? How do you react to the added stress? In this team, the moment the lights got bright, the moment the games got really big and really important, they just folded. They just flat out folded. And I don't know if that changes if there's more people in there who have won before. Like you've got a bunch of players in there that were in the same situation in 2024, right? And we know what happened there. So it seems like this team just did a really bad job of handling the added pressure that comes with late season games that just mean a lot. I mean, he acknowledged it right there.
I think that starts at the top as well. I mean, I don't want to put too much of this on Don Kelly, but I mean, I think we saw it start to get to Don Kelly as well. We saw the ejections. We saw multiple in a week around that time. One of them was just arguing for the sake of arguing. Like, I think you could argue that the pressure started to wear on him a little bit as well. And to rewind a little bit, Brandon, we don't have to say that out loud to the media. We can just keep that part internal. Like, we don't
I-
need to
I-
know that the pressure got too high for you
No,
guys.
no, I have no issue with him saying what he said. But like, because I mean, I think that's the reality of the situation. Like, this team caved. They caved
Oh, yeah.
under pressure. Yeah.
And then I think they also quit at the same time, just like yesterday.
Well,
Quits
with
maybe a
that,
little harsh, but
I want to
go ahead,
add
sorry.
the Don Kelly quote because after the same game, Don Kelly was asked, and what Don Kelly said was, "We have to compete. Today was not good enough. I felt like we felt sorry for ourselves. We didn't compete with the fight that we have had all season. We have to be better. We have to dig deep in the clubhouse, players, staff, everybody, and find a way." And like the thing about that, I want to start by saying, like, I can appreciate what Brandon Lowe said in the sense of I don't know. I'm trying. Part of me appreciates that in a sense of don't try to do too much. Go out there and play the game. This isn't any more important. Don't add pressure. Like that sense. Try to keep your people in line so they're not overdoing things. Because if you're overthinking, now you're throwing to the wrong base. But the problem is they do that already. But like these two quotes kind of contradict themselves. Like one's like, "Hey, chill out, relax, don't change anything, don't worry about anything, just whatever, right? Whatever's happening in May, just let it happen now too. Doesn't matter. No added pressure. The games are all the same." And then Don Kelly's like, "You guys have lost your fight. You guys are not like this is not you, like." And I guess where I'm getting at too is I agree more with Don Kelly at this point in time. And where was this 2 weeks ago, or at least the very least like a week ago? My thing is this message just seems a little too late because I agree with all this. But do you need to say that when you've lost 12 or last 15? Or, when you're starting to skid right at the deadline and things are getting real tight, like let's get things going here. Of course, they come out today and win 13-1 when they finally had this meeting and message sent to them. So I don't know. Like, yes, I can on one side appreciate what Brandon Lowe's kind of saying, but I think you also have to understand where you're at, and maybe you need to fire some guys up.
You could stopped at fire some guys.
Fire some guys out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the like I don't know if the answer would have been like if during the Arizona series, right? They had that game that they blew, and that comeback that kind of just fell short. I don't know if just like laying into those guys at that moment would have been the right idea because I think they were
I understand
battling
where I'm getting
then,
at
right?
too.
Yeah,
This conversation here. I'm not talking like laying in, but like
Yeah.
maybe a firing up sort of, and not just to Tyler's
I
point
guess
too,
it's just
again,
like, yeah,
just the Don Kelly way has been very calm, cool, collected. It's just another game. There'll be tomorrow to play. Maybe
Yeah.
at some point it's like, like let's fire some guys up. Let's get a little fiery. Let's get a little energy.
yeah, and I mean, I don't know if any of that was happening at all, really. Obviously, it's hard to get a bunch of energy when you're losing 11 of 14 games. That kind of wears at you, especially this point in the season. So I'm not making excuses for Don Kelly. I think this is where having like an experienced leader, like Tyler mentioned, could have helped, right? Like having someone who has led a clubhouse in this exact situation before, maybe it goes a little bit different than it did. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. All I know is that Brandon Lowe acknowledged that the players felt the added pressure. They put that pressure on themselves and they didn't respond well to it. And they got to go back to playing loose, playing fun, whatever that is. And they today obviously was a good game, but it's probably probably too little too late at this point, right? Unless you go and do that 10 more times in a row. So yeah, it's I I think there's plenty of people to blame for this. Like you can blame everyone. And like you said, Tyler, you can start at the top. Like you can definitely start at the top with Bob Nutting. You can go the step below him with Ben Sherrington. You can go the step below that with Don Kelly. You can go the step below that with all the coaching staff. You can go the step below that with all the players. Like, I think there's plenty of blame to go around for a lot of people. But yeah, who knows how this would have gone different if they had, say, Terry Francona in that clubhouse as opposed to Don Kelly, right? And I just pulled out a name. I have no idea if Francona would have ever wanted this job, but who knows if it would have gone a little different.
Yeah, so many layers to why this team is in the situation they're in. So many layers to it. It's Donnie, it's Ben, it's the players, it's Bob. It goes back years. Like, this isn't a 1-year issue. This is a 7-year failure. You don't have depth because you failed so many years before.
Can you say that number one more time?
7-year failure.
That's the biggest thing here. That's like a problem. And fight me. Like, just fight me on this.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the audience. Whatever. But this is why we were talking about this early on. When I mean early on, like entering into year 3, year 4 of this rebuild. You got to start showing some winning. You have to have some desire of winning because, again, culture. It's just sad because, this is like just bringing up some horrible memories because I'm just like regurgitating things that we've said on shows for how many years, and I thought we were past that, and clearly we're not. But why was it so important to start getting a winning culture? Why was it so important to make an emphasis on winning? Because Brian Reynolds has done nothing but lose for his entire career. And folks, his career isn't young anymore. It's not young anymore.
8th season with the Pirates.
He's done nothing but lose. Has not seen winning yet. This whole organization has done nothing but seeing, winning yet. And when it's finally at the end of your line here, that like something has to come together this year because it is year 7. You've already fired your coach, your manager. You've put on, the GM has come out and said, I'm more responsible for this than he is. But we made the decision that he's going to go. Even though you both said you're tired of the hip. He went, you stayed. That was a message. Travis comes out that next offseason. We're going to retain him. But period, full stop, playoffs. Here we are. Like you waited till it was like the last minute, like we have to do something or else this is it. And no one was prepared. You didn't have the foundation built. And here we are. And it just sucks. And I say year 7 too, because this is the 7th year. And we already talked about on Bucko Brew how many managers have or GMs have even done this in the life of baseball. And it's not many. It's less than a whole hand. Neil Huntington was in his 2nd year of wildcard berth in year 7. 94 wins or 88, whatever it was that year. Like, and I'm not trying to pin them together. I'm not trying to, Ben has to follow this pattern. I know things are different, but still we're talking about year 7. The Pirates were their 2nd year of the wild card. And we're still trying to sniff 500. Something's got to give. You have a trade deadline. And you talk about starts at the top. I mean, we've handed plenty of blame for a lot of people, a lot of parties. We discussed this, Tyler. We discussed this, you and I originally, and then the deadline we brought up again. The reports that they're not going to add salary to make moves. That is what happened. And if you look beforehand, they were shedding salary in creative ways, right? Trading.
They were shedding revenue. They were shedding expenses. Yeah, is what they were doing. Yeah.
They're shedding money in all different ways, right? The draft, they traded Urquidy. They're shedding things, and they added everyone, and the people they added had their contracts paid down more so. And I'm sorry, Sports Business Journal puts out a tweet today that Sportsnet Pittsburgh is thriving. That they're projected to finish 17% above their forecast. They're making more money than they projected to make. And Bob sees a team that's there. They're on the outside looking in, but they need help. They need help. And they've shed money in certain ways, and they're making more money than even projected on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. And Bob says, good luck. I'm not saying the trade deadline and adding these pieces would have changed anything or much, but certainly didn't help. I know they got the bullpen help that they needed, and we gave strong kudos to that. But we've seen how they are against left-handed pitching, and that's not been fixed. We see the problems of starting pitching, and that's not been fixed. And here we are. Here we are. And the biggest problem is those two things that weren't addressed. Those are the reasons you're here right now, not the bullpen.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen the new pitchers pitch because the other two can't get them to the bullpen.
I also want to point out that, 2024, this team was in a similar position. I think we can all agree, like, the caliber of talent on that 2024 team wasn't quite where it was on this year's team, but they were in a similar position in terms of their record, games out of the postseason, all of that. And they decided to just, like, the softest buys of all time, right? Like, you add Jalen Beeks, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and Brian De La Cruz to a team that was above 500. I think they were 2 games out of a playoff spot at that point. Like, they were just as in it as this team was. And obviously we know how 2024 went. Didn't finish very well. They basically, were terrible the last 2 months of that season. But I think what really angers me is, like, that kind of gave you something to build on, right? Like, Paul Skeens won the Rookie of the Year that year. You had, it wasn't really a core of position players like Brian Reynolds. You still have some guys, right? But you went out there in the offseason after that year and you targeted Adam Frazier. That was Rowdy Tellez offseason too. So you go out there, you get Rowdy Tellez right off the bat. You get Adam Frazier. You get Tommy Pham. Those are your acquisitions. You made one trade with getting Spencer Horwitz, which you nailed that.
Rowdy
trade.
was before.
Was Rowdy before that?
Yeah. Rowdy,
you're
and
right.
then
Spencer
Tommy Pham was the next
yeah,
year.
you're right. Rowdy was the year before.
Yeah.
But you go out there and your offseason was the Spencer Horwitz trade, and then you sign Adam Frazier and Tommy Pham.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Frazier, who just is old and not who he was. Tommy Pham was blind when you signed him. He literally couldn't see the first few months of the year. And, like, that's what you did. Like, you were in a position to add on from that team and say, okay, yeah, you know what? We're going to make a push this year. Last year in spring training, it was all, the time to win is now. Well, like, you didn't show it. You didn't do anything during the offseason to say that the time to win was now. And so, like, you kind of just punted last year. This year, you finally had, like, they should have done this year's offseason last year. We should have been crying about these last 2 weeks last year, right? And then this year, you get a few people. Yeah, you get a few people.
That's what's
back.
sad. Last year's a playoff team.
Yeah, I think that's just, like, you kind of, in comparing this to the only good Pirates team that any of us can remember, right? Those early 2000 teens years. Like, what if last year was our 2012, right? And the year before that was our 2011, because 2011 was a similar experience. Like, the Pirates started off good, they were in a position, and they just came up short. 2012, they looked even better. They collapsed at the end. 2013, they finally, like, put it all together and got over the hump. This year should be 2013, but it feels like this year's 2012. Not quite to the level of a collapse that 2012 was, but it's feeling more 2012.
Sure feels 2011 to me.
Yeah, it honestly, yeah, actually feels more 2012.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Like, they didn't do enough last year. It's kind of led into this year. I mean, one of the biggest reasons they're in this spot they're in right now is because of the lack of depth that they have. And the reason they have a lack of depth is because they missed a good bit over the last handful of years here. It's hard to handle as many injuries as they had. I mean, you lose 3 very key pieces of your offense. That's going to hurt any team. But they don't have a shortstop, guys. They legitimately just don't have a shortstop. That's pathetic. They have Connor Griffin and nothing. They don't have a third baseman.
At the same time,
Well, their
though,
third
Tyler,
baseman having to play shortstop. Yeah.
this organization targeted hundreds of shortstops through their tenure. And to your point, they don't have a shortstop.
Jim like squinted like he's going to call Jacob Gonzalez a shortstop, and I just can't stand for that.
I'm not saying he's a good shortstop, but he is technically a shortstop.
Well, technically, Nick Gonzalez is a third baseman.
I don't. Okay. I guess. Yeah. It sucks. This sucks.
Sure does.
Thank you, Silas. He says, yeah, even worse. Like I said, last year was one of the best pitching seasons that we'll ever see anybody do, right? Punted the year Paul Skeens won the Cy Young. And yeah, I mean, you can't just assume that a pitcher is going to continue to pitch like that forever, as we have seen this year.
You can't assume that a staff's going to pitch like that. I think I brought this up a couple years ago talking about this group and how it was during the hard parts figured out part of the little speech I have of they have the pitching staff to do this. But the Mets had it at 1.2, and then all of a sudden you snap your fingers, it's gone. And it sure
You
as
did
hell
say
looks
that.
like it's gone.
I'm not ready to stamp it gone yet, because also to the other side of your point here, Tyler, it's one of the things that we also knew and recognized about this staff. It's very talented. And once again, talent doesn't mean wins, and you don't get paid because of talent. It's very talented, but it's very young. We got it. We understood it. Why they made so many trades, dealing with starting pitchers. They needed offense, but this team absolutely needed some depth. I mean, how many times we say, go find that lefty, go find that lefty, go find that lefty. They brought in Urquidy, and it was like, well, like, I'm okay with this. It's a $1.5 million deal. Like, that's fairly cheap. Maybe that's like another depth piece, but you still need, like, let's bring in something else. You know, something just a shade better. You don't need to go out there and spend a ton of money. I mean, they didn't need to go out there and go and spend and get a marquee left-hander. You know, we had names out there. Just go get someone who's in the maybe a shade under $5 million deal. Maybe a tad more than a 1.5 in Urquidy, right? But just go out there and get someone who's in that mold and bring them on, because lefties play up in PNC Park. It makes sense, and this team absolutely needs the depth. And now to Tyler's point, it just showed. A lot of them, I mean, there's talent there, but Bubba went through his downs. Ashcraft went through his downs. A lot of ups. And I'm not poo-pooing on Ashcraft's season. He's been the best pitcher, I think, by far on this team. Paul Skeens fell apart. No one saw that. But, you know, for the newer guys, they all had their ups and downs. And then, of course, Jared Jones was off of injury anyways, too. He came back, ups and downs. Carmen can't be a starter. Mitch broke his arm. Yeah, there was just absolutely no depth to the starting pitching.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter when Skeens turns into what he did. Like, if Paul Skeens is not going to be the Paul Skeens that we know, this team's not winning anything.
That's a good point. Like, in order for this team to do what it needs to, like, in order for this team to win a World Series, like, if we're going there, Paul Skeens needs to be dominant. Now, I think they showed us earlier that Like Paul Skeens probably doesn't need to be dominant to get into the postseason. He just has to not suck, and he's sucked for these last 2 months. Because yeah, I mean, if the Pirates have a 500 record and Paul Skeens starts right now, like they're in it. Like we're not talking about it being over, but he can't suck.
And he sucked.
He sucked.
Stephens also sucked.
There are a lot of factors, I believe, into why he sucks. The defense is one of them. The fact that the off speed and the breaking stuff isn't playing up as well as it has is another reason. There are a lot of reasons to it, but he has sucked.
But mostly the dad bod is why he sucked. As we're coming to terms now, that's the reason.
But also, like,
that's so silly.
So
I
here's
love
the
it.
deal. It's hilarious. But one, like, it's the day after, like the literally the day after your start where you couldn't throw 97. Everybody's calling you fat, and then you're like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go walk on Miami Beach shirtless with my supermodel girlfriend.
Yeah.
As a kind of a comparison of bodies there. It probably wasn't a smart decision by Paul, but also he's not, I mean, come on, he's not fat, you guys.
Do you guys really like he's not a corner or a wide receiver in the NFL? He's not a shooting guard in the NBA. Like, you understand what pitchers like in quarter, like, do you understand most baseball? I mean, Brandon Lowe is not athletic looking. He should be down in South Beach bagging Paul's groceries at the Publix. Like, he's the assistant manager at the Publix. Like, baseball players, and this isn't like shade, baseball players aren't your typical prototypical athletes. But also, let's put it this way. Do you think Ben Roethlisberger looked any different than Paul Skeens? People are trying to vouch for him to be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Probably worse.
Right? That's what a pitcher in MLB looks like for the most part, if not bigger.
You need a little.
Yeah, this fat thing is it's so out of line.
Silly. Yeah, it's silly.
It's so funny though.
It's kind of funny.
And just like the whole world turned on Paul one day and just said, fat. Everyone had their reasons. Everyone had their reasons. And then all one day it all came together as one thing.
Silas asks, how fast did Bartolo Colon throw?
Exactly.
Most of Colon's career was like pre-pitch effects days. So there's not even like accurate readings. But once that came into effect, before he hit 40, he was 92, 93.
Then he got really fat.
Yeah, we all know
towards
that's
the end there. Towards the end there, yeah. But he was still even at age 45, he was at 89.5 on his fastball.
It is funny though, because I think everyone has had that thought, like the Nardo said, in the last like month or two of like, man, he's out of shape. And like you said, everybody on one day. Fat.
Because like Jim said, like he picks that day. No one's gonna notice me and Livy on South Beach.
That was the worst day to do that, Paul. The worst possible day.
Across from Wet Willie's, no one's gonna see us.
And truthfully, the reason we're all probably saying he's out of shape is because we don't want to admit he might be hurt.
Basically.
Yeah, I don't think he's hurt. I don't think he's hurt at all. Like I truly think this is just
fat.
This is who he is right now.
You think he's fat?
I don't think he's fat.
He's just big boned, guys.
Just a little thickum.
Yeah, I mean he's not like lean or anything. Like he's not wearing, he's not wearing lean clothes, but yeah, he's not fat.
No.
I mean, it's definitely a dad bod though.
Hey, dad bods are in. right?
I feel like they were like 5 years ago.
So
That.
We got anything else to talk about?
I don't know. I'm gonna go to Sheets and get the Skeens.
How about Braxton Ashcraft today?
Yes.
That was
Dog.
a big performance. That's a game that I've been waiting for Paul Skeens to put together all year long, and he hasn't. But yeah, what a start by Braxton Ashcraft. You kind of thought that he was wearing down a little bit, and what a response! Like the efficiency, the strikeouts plus the efficiency is pretty incredible. First pitcher in Major League history to pitch a complete game, strike out 10 batters, and throw 85 or less pitches. First time that's ever happened. Ever.
Wild.
Baseball's
not
been
that.
played for 150 years. No one's ever done that before until today.
Can I actually ask a real question on that, though? What did you guys think about letting him go the whole way? I know there's a lot of concern about the innings, and you're both good with it.
85 pitches, let him go. Those were low stress pitches. Yeah.
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 I would have pulled him.
No.
What was woo? He threw 9 innings. Woo. I would have liked to see Luke Weaver throw at some point. Can I play with the shiny new toy?
You need Luke Weaver for this 12-game run that we're about to put up.
If Braxton Ashcraft threw 85 pitches in 6 innings, we wouldn't be talking about that. We wouldn't be talking about this at all. So what's the difference that he threw it in 9 innings opposed to 6?
Yeah.
Because they were up by 8 runs. Who cares?
Okay. That's why they pulled him on the 6th.
He didn't get a Maddox anyhow.
I know that bum gave up a home run.
I would have pulled him, honestly, after the 7th.
Jack, we're gonna leave that tidbit out. He says, I heard pitch count started in 1988. So yeah, we're just gonna, before 1988, no pitcher ever struck out 10 batters in a game. Don't look that.
That's true.
With all the contact hitters back in the day, no one struck out 10 batters.
Right.
Don't ever look.
They knew how to play the game
Roger
right.
Clemens's numbers or anything.
I'm just saying, I don't think the risk was worth the reward of
what risk? He was at 73 pitches.
85 pitches.
Yeah, you can give him a little rest here. We've been talking about finding ways to give this guy rest.
They did. They let him throw 85 pitches.
Yeah, he only threw 85 pitches.
You guys are talking about putting him in the damn bullpen.
Yeah, he threw 85 pitches, Tyler. This is a bad take by you. For the pitching Yinza wanting to take out pitchers at 73 pitches.
In that case, yes, I just don't see the point in leaving him out there in a blowout.
Oh, shit. Damn it. Security's here. Can't come back tonight, Tyler. You can come back tomorrow.
Anyways, big 3-game series coming up at home. They basically need to sweep. Pirates need to sweep this series against the Red Sox, and they're facing 2 lefties and Sonny Gray.
Yay, Sonny Gray, who's kind of a Cy Young candidate now.
Yeah, he's good.
But also, it's the Red Sox, who I know they haven't been as strong lately. They've been skidding, so you're going to catch them. Now's a good time, not when they've won 38 in a row. But they're still pretty damn good.
Yeah, pretty good team, playing good baseball. And 2 lefties and Sonny Gray.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see. I said they have to sweep this series. 2 out of 3 doesn't even cut it.
Yeah, that's why I want to kind of end the show. We're saying it's done, and it is essentially over. I mean, it's over. They had to. They couldn't lose those 2 series, and they did.
7 in a row.
They're in such of a hole right now. It's over. But this team better not be sitting here in their mind saying it's over and laid out. They still better be fighting. They still better be thinking that they have a shot at the playoffs. Brandon Lowe, keep sending your message or whatever, that they have to keep doing what they need to do to rattle off their 10 wins, because you need to rattle off 10 wins. You need to rattle off 10 wins. You have to. So do what you need to do that, and then we'll start believing in you again. But I think the very rational thought process right now, when you look at everything, that it's over. But don't think it's over, guys. Go out there and play. Reel us back in. As much as I'm going to hate you when you do it, reel us back in. And
yeah, I mean, it's a 6-game homestand. Go 5-1.
Yeah,
go 5-1 and make us believe again.
Yeah, I don't have much else.
And you guys need to keep believing.
Well, FanDuel doesn't believe. Plus 122 tomorrow on the money line with Bubba on the hill. I mean, that's probably about right.
Oh, and against a lefty.
Yeah, that's probably about right. They're finally figuring out that the Pirates can't hit lefties.
But you know what? You know what we should do? Just Jared Triolo, Rafael Flores Jr. Just put them 1-2. Put them 1-2 in the lineup. Just let them rake.
YOLO. He ain't ready, but call up Cruz.
Well, yeah, I do anticipate Cruz will be with the team tomorrow. So that's another thing. Yeah, Cruz should be activated tomorrow.
To put your faith in him right now, that he's the reason the team's going to win. It's a tough ask, but you got it right now. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen.
2 lefties too.
It's a loss. Has Merlin come a little bit alive of recent?
Yeah, he had a decent series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a home run robbed from him too.
Right.
Yesterday.
Yep. There's your 1, 2, 3. And then Cruz.
Let's lead off with Triolo. Triolo lead off. Flores number 2. Valdez number 3.
Cruz 4.
Cruz 4.
Let's go get them dubs.
All right. I think that's enough.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Gonna go
Like
work
the
on my
video,
Steam pod.
subscribe to the page. Make sure you're checking out Offbeat every morning. Alex is putting out some really, really good stuff. If you haven't checked out his, he kind of did a different one a couple of days ago where he was in Altoona, interviewed Murph Gray. So there was an Offbeat with Murph Gray on it. So make sure you check that out. That interview honestly got me really excited to see Murph Gray at the hot corner, especially with all the issues at third base the Pirates have had this season. It's like,
right.
let's get Murph up here. He's mashing.
It's one of those scenarios where if they trade him, it sounded like he was trade bait. If they would have traded him and get a big piece, it made sense. But now that he's here, yeah, I'm excited for him. He's a Pirate still. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the one thing looking back at the trade deadline is they really didn't give up anything that feels like it's going to hurt too bad.
Boom. Tyler hates Sammy.
Well, yeah, I was more than okay giving him up.
But all in all, it just means more looking towards the future, and that's the problem. So, here's to the future. See you guys tomorrow.
See you guys.
Anything else, guys? All right.
No.
Bye-bye.
No.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.